me put it this way. You move everything forward a day because we don't watch it live. So Tuesday is Raw, Wednesday's this new show, Thursday is SmackDown, and no, not SmackDown, is NXT and AEW. Then we
Sunday is AEW. AEW Dynamite if we're going to do it via ITV. Because it's this delay.
What, you mean the heavily edited shit at 8 o'clock in the morning?
8 o'clock in the morning, I don't think, but
it is. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a prime morning show.
What's ITV4's one then?
I don't know, but it's whichever one is going to be on ITV. It's heavily edited anyway.
Fight. Fight. I don't know what they're going to do for the go-home shows for the pay-per-views. They say they're going to be they're going to be free and easily available. I don't know if that means they're going to stick them on YouTube or not, but we'll see. PG-14, PG-14, whatever it is.
Well, they got Fight TV to kind of make it easier for people if they want to.
I can only assume that Fight TV's logo is just a picture of Miz's dad going like that. George Mizanin, man of 1,000 faces, all of them the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another fine episode of Last Minute Kickout. As always, I am your reigning, defending, undisputed LMKO champion, Pete Titescreed, now joined by Kevin Eva. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
And if you're watching the video version of this, we are no longer joined by John Turbo. Oh,
he's gone to get some booze.
I have to come back because obviously I can't.
He honours his contractual commitments, everybody.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. We are joined by John Turbo Finley as well. How are you doing, sir?
Great. Fine. It's like, other than having to deal with your ego, I'm fine. It's like I'm suffocating under the weight of that.
One day my defeat will come.
And it will be so sweet.
When are you marrying Stephanie?
When am I marrying Stephanie?
Yeah.
Whenever she decides to offer, you know. I mean.
Okay.
Anyway, we are here to talk about Clash of Champions. We are a little bit late, but we've all had real life stuff to be dealing with.
Oh boy, yeah.
So we're here to talk about Clash of Champions. It was an alright show, in my estimation, guys. Quick things.
It was a bit half and half on me. There was some real questionable matches, but there was a lot of surprises though during the show, which I feel lifted up a bit more.
Yeah, it's not a show that's going to live long in the memory, as proof by the fact that I had to re-look up everything that happened. Because I literally forgot it all. So, yeah.
It'll be surprising to reminisce
yes.
Then.
Who won that game? Who won that match? Really? Did they? Okay, that's fine.
Indeed. But it was a pretty stacked card, I thought, in my estimation. And yeah, as I said, I kind of enjoyed for what it was. But then I had a lot on the line because myself and Kev, when it came to predictions, were only a few shy. So
yeah, it's definitely much closer between you two.
So I mean, I told Pete this is that the tag team one, the New Day Revival one. I ended up having to record that video like 5 times. I literally alternated it every single time between them. I kept changing my mind. So it was close.
We'll chat about that match as we come to it. But it was interesting. But yes, we'll start with the pre-show. There were 2 matches on there. One of them was a bit of a shocker of why it was there, but meh. The first one was the Cruiserweight Championship of Drew Gulak defending the title against Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado in a triple threat match.
A triple threaty match?
Triple threaty match. What do you guys think? It almost feels like Lince was literally just in this match to take the pin, which is, I think, what both Gav and I predicted.
Yeah, it was pretty much around that, wasn't it? It was like, well, no one's been built up.
Yeah, it felt like that because even though I wasn't catching up with 205 Live storyline, what the commentator was talking about during the match and whatnot, and how Lindsay Dorado got himself into the match and whatnot, it kind of like led to that feeling that
it didn't.
That was good.
It didn't sell it that the match was, this is it. It sold it as, well, this is a stepping stone to somewhere we're going to get a later date, and it's just occupying a time slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we've got to have those belts on somehow.
It was a good match, but it's, yeah, I don't know.
Considering what that... It was an okay cruiserweight match.
It'll be interesting to see how things go, because we still haven't had news of what's happening to 205 Live. They've moved some stuff to NXT, and yet there hasn't been an actual nail put in the coffin of 205 Live yet. It's apparently still happening after SmackDown.
Yeah.
Currently, according to news. So until we actually know the fate of 205 Live, we don't know where things are going with the Cruiserweight, to be fair. Like, it's been put on NXT, presumably to buffer the new 2-hour shows for the moment. I haven't caught up with it this week. I still need to do that, which I'm probably going to do after this show, actually. Otherwise, it was all right.
Yeah.
Serviceable.
Serviceable, and a wee bit of a botch at the end. Lindsay Dorado didn't have his shoulders down, ready
One
for
of the Lucha House Party botching something? No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Outrageous. Send for somebody.
Send for somebody. The second and final pre-show match. AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander. I have a feeling this match is only here because of Vince's vocal dislike for Cedric.
It must have been.
In fairness, also, I mean, in terms of significance of a US title match, I think it did kind of deserve to be there.
It also.
Whilst it's AJ Styles, I know we've had
AJ
before.
Styles must have been pissed during that whole thing. I am on the pre-show. How the fuck have I gotten myself into this? No.
Well, remember we've got AJ there to elevate the US title.
But being on the pre-show is not the best thing to do.
Yeah, but is Cedric going to? Is Cedric going to elevate it?
Even the Miz, when he had the IC title, was still on the pre-show.
Yeah,
when he was elevated.
Also, we know that you can have the best match of the evening as well. We know, and still be repetitively on the pre-show. See Usos versus New Day.
The big question that you need to have. The big question that you need to have when you want to discuss things like that is there something on the main card that you could have swapped around that match for? Not the caliber, the match, the actual end product of that match, because it was short and it didn't really deliver much.
The US title is at the moment such that the prestige of it just, when stacked up against, what is these other things going to do? It kind of belongs in that position, unfortunately. You could argue the women's tag team match, but that was also like the 24/7 title in it as well, wasn't it? I think. And
yeah, but no, I was thinking of another women's match that could have been put in there.
Oh God, yeah. Well, several of them could be, frankly.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, it was a bit. I was a bit stunned that AJ's on there.
Granted, I liked the hot opening by Cedric because that was great start to it, and then it was just AJ throughout, and he's like It
was a squash. That's what it was. Yeah, it was a little bit of there. We'll move on to the main pay-per-view. Well, excuse me, with the opening of Seth and Braun defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
Others known as, we like Robert Roode, but we don't know what to do with him at the minute. And then there's Dolph. Yeah.
Hard worker Dolph.
Reliable Dolph.
Mr. Reliable Dolph Ziggler.
The best seller in the business.
I have a feeling that if you really wanted to, he could sell like The Rock sold stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's why he's currently. Well, that's what he did at SummerSlam. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the spear? Yeah, he turned his spine inside out. I still don't know how he did that. By the way, I went back and rewatched that match specifically for that spear, just to see the contours of his body, and I can't figure out how he lives.
So the match in general, I enjoyed. The ending was a bit shit.
They had to have some kind of like
but
notion
again,
into tension going into the end of the night.
Again, my only problem is that they're making Braun act like an idiot big man, and he's most definitely not an idiot big man.
Yeah.
And it's my entire problem with the way that he gets treated 90% of the time is like.
Well, they flip flop his character every time. He's like a switch. You just switch
you can't work because in this match, I mean, it all ends up with big clumsy Braun just goes bumbles and bundles everybody sort of out the way. And this is the same Braun who would later in the night like do a frog splash or whatever it was off the top, off the top rope. Those are that's the same Braun, that's the same man, you know, bumbling through, and then splash off the top rope, and
it's like the Big Show back in WCW.
Oh yeah, with his
the
moonsault.
Giant.
Moonsault.
Yeah, moonsault. He did a moonsault back.
Amazing stuff.
I like the fact that they've taken away all the dazing stuff from Braun because he doesn't need it. Like, you know, he's really fast man. But it's just get rid of this atypical big guy stuff that we've had for 20 plus years. You know, he's not that. He's fast. He's agile.
So what we're saying, WWE, is don't book Braun like you booked Big Show
or Kane.
I mean, even look at the Undertaker. Well, you don't see Taker ever get dazed. Essentially, like
Taker, you did. Taker, you did during American Badass.
Yeah,
actual heel period.
What do you guys think of the match in general?
It was okay. It was it was serviceable.
I feel like this is going to be a common phrase throughout this.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. I feel like he's going to say it a lot.
I said it, and then he said it, and then you'll say it eventually.
But no, I can. It's not like I wasn't bored by the match, which happened too often in other matches later in the night. And I obviously knew that there would be dissension at the end somehow. It's just like Pete said, obviously it was a bit meh how they did it. It was just Braun doing the shoulder tackle, or was it a shoulder tackle into the
he sort of shoved somebody into
he shoulder tackled Rude into
Seth, and then Seth sort of went out the ropes like he was shot, and then
so it was like, and then Rude got the glorious DDT for the win.
Quite happy about that, actually. You know, it was effectively a clean pin.
It's good. It's good that Rude got the pinfall over Seth and not Dolph.
Yeah, and it's good that we build up the glorious DDT again.
Yeah.
I mean that's good. But it's a weird situation where we've got the Raw Tag Team titles because also wacky tag team, and wacky tag team has been defeated by a wacky tag team. But
don't worry, I think that'll be changing soon enough with the upcoming draft.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some properly established teams on both brands, and
it's whoever Fox don't want. Whoever Fox don't want, because apparently Fox want the Fiend. So expect him on SmackDown.
Well, he's kind of.
It's Fox versus Heyman. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
This is why I'm interested with this story about the new broadcast teams, because first of all, Tom Phillips has been given the old knife in the back, and we've got Jerry Lawler back on Raw. Now you're not telling me that in any way that was a decision Heyman made. You're not telling me that Heyman just went, you know what we really need on the commentary team? We need Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, but I can't remember what of the videos I saw that actually reported this news today. But it was the fact that the last time Jerry Lawler was actually on commentary, he was completely with it and did very good commentary on the point. Where if you look at him versus JR, JR has to have vested interest in the product and who's wrestling in order for him to actually give a damn at the moment.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long ago he was on the commentary table, because it was the same week where he also got attacked by the Fiend. This was like
true.
Just before the King of the Ring.
Nobody complained about that.
So yeah.
I don't remember seeing Jerry's picture up on the wall actually.
He was on the
We'll have to
commentary
pay
desk
attention
for a
to
bit.
Raw. It was okay. I enjoyed it. But moving on, Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. Now,
AKA Charlotte in Flair country. So yeah.
Go on, John. You look like you got a lot to say.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with this match. This
Why?
is the match I thought should have been on the pre-show. I think this match was just
Charlotte Flair on a pre-show.
damn right she needs to
Are
be on
you
the pre-show.
mad?
Especially with that stupid moonsault she keeps doing. Yeah, I've turned into Kevin here.
Someone's stealing my bit. Gimmick infringement. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's like bloody hell. It's like she pretty much had control of the match until the very end, where Bayley snuck out a win by taking out the bottom turnbuckle cover, whacking Charlotte into it, and boom, roll up for a pin.
I liked the ending actually.
I mean, granted, yes, that makes out as her heel.
Yeah. Also, just like because it builds up the heel persona. And this is like, wait, you.
But
sneaked on Flair?
Yeah, but it's also like she's a chicken shit heel as well, because as soon as she won, boom, like a rocket out of that ring.
What's wrong with that?
I've seen it too often.
When was the last time you saw it recently?
Well, not in like the last year, but in the last 5 years, we had people like Seth Rollins.
Right, here's the thing, yeah? WWE programming is done in a way that it doesn't expect you to remember the last 5 minutes.
It kind of works in with the delusional thing. The fact that Bayley's all delusional and that is like the thing that she was serious about, which is like being the role model, and now it's ironic with her saying, "I'm a role model," and she still believes it, even though there's no way that it actually is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was literally just Charlotte Flair beating the crap out of Bayley for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and then Bayley sneaking it.
Yeah, and we've had better matches between them before. You know, it's like, so why couldn't the match be booked in a better way?
There was a lot of matches to have on this game. They've added so many championships.
Well, that's the problem.
It doesn't do the SmackDown belt any good.
The major problem for this one was there's just too many championships now. That's why it was like the card was so big in the first place. Don't be silly.
We can shoehorn in the NXT belts and the NXT UK belt in there somehow. It's fine. In fact, we can probably have a guest match from Evolve if you ask them.
Oh dear.
Network exclusive coming soon.
But yes,
universes collide.
The next match is Big E and Xavier Woods of the New Day defending their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Revival. The minute they came out and announced that if the Revival won, they were going to be history makers and be the first tag team to win SmackDown, Raw, and NXT championships, I knew they were going to win the belt.
Yeah, that's slightly telegraphed.
Kevin and I talked about on predictions. WWE want to make a lot of history.
Yeah. It's all they care about, making moments. It's one of the things they bang on. If you actually watch any of their stuff they do where they're talking seriously on television programs about the making of the show.
Yeah.
One of the things they always mention, whether it's Trips, whether it's Steph, whether it's Vince, whether it's any of the senior people who also come out of the box every so often, they always talk about making history and making moments.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that was this one again.
That was one.
But it worked to making Revival obviously vicious heels.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean,
especially with what they did to Xavier at the end.
Yeah, because they had him beat. That was they had the match won, and then they just went for
because they could have just done another shatter machine on them and just call it a day, but no.
Actually, thank you for saying that. Okay, probably my favourite bit of the match was the Revival selling the shatter machine or doing it on Big E. They just like moaning in pain on the outside because it took so much out of them to do that on Big E. Yeah. And it hurt them to do so. It was good. It wasn't like, okay, we've got him, let's go get him. No, they were like down for 10 seconds or so. Just literally like Dawson was going, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, but it was all right, and it ties into our grander story that we keep saying about how Xavier's not the one to give up at all in the team, is he? Because he's always the one who gets tortured. Sometimes literally, but yeah, he's sort of put in a situation there, and yeah, we didn't get any Kofi or Orton coming out to do any nonsense.
No,
but
that was obviously gonna be safe for later.
Yeah, but that benefited the Revival in this situation, and
the promo that they cut afterwards to try to emphasize that this is it, we're the dominant team on this division now, with the titles and whatnot, and it worked out for them. Yeah, I felt. And this was a good match.
What sort of match we'll see between New Day and Revival come Hell in a Cell?
Oof.
Well, if it's anything like New Day and Usos in Hell in a Cell,
I don't think they'll be in Hell in a Cell. It's already
they won't be in it because I think we've already got 2 matches in it already. But
maybe they'll do something. I'm sure they'll have a stipulation. It might be like a submission. Maybe. Tag team submission match or something.
If it was a tag team submission match, then that'd be good.
Also, Paul McCarthy, all his hard work on Xavier's tights, to make those look so wonderful. I like that.
I like them on the most recent episode of SmackDown. It looked like they'd been stitched up. They literally had been. Because he had the same tights on later date. Yeah, so McCarthy again. Stitching away. Sasha's coming out. Aren't we going out? Like, no, Xavier's tights are gone. So we've got in the next match Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who don't have a really shitty mixed music, against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in Fire and Desire, where they've really butchered their coming out music together, and it sounds
they're not the only ones, really.
Everything's out. It sounds horrible. The video's horrible, and to be honest, they were pretty horrible in this as well.
The minute they came out with their new joint music, there was a brief thought that said they're not going to give them the titles, are they?
I think now Mandy Rose, yeah. I love Sonya Deville. I think she's pretty great.
Oh, Sonya Deville is brilliant.
But she wasn't in this match.
No. This match put me to sleep.
Very. It was slow. It was sluggish.
What about the run-in with the 24/7 title where Bliss nearly became a 24/7 champion?
Well, it popped YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Big, didn't it? Oh no, the best. Now that you mentioned that, the segment beforehand, where they were having an interview, and then R-Truth did R-Truth calling
other
Carmella Bliss other Carmella. I legitimately laughed out loud at that and missed half of what else was being said because it was just so funny and so dry. And Bliss,
it ended up Alexa Bliss getting the boom mic and just saying, it's like,
going,
attention, please. R-Truth is on set. Come and get him and grab a referee. And then everyone, the city of jobbers, come running through, and here comes Rockstar Spud. It's like
exhausted.
Like, just going, thank you. And off he goes.
Oh well, at least Hawkins and Ryder got to appear on the pay-per-view. I keep calling him Rockstar Spud still.
Yeah, well, I call him Rockstar Spud because it's my fair name.
Spud.
But anyway, the match itself, I wasn't fantastic about it. Nikki Cross could obviously be doing better. At least she got the win. At least she got the win for the match. Got the high end. I'm just gonna call it the crossroads because
it's a draping crossroads.
Yeah,
or it's a draping
Nikki
rubber
with
dice.
Nikki with the swinging net break.
Yeah.
It really looks like they're building up Nikki now that Nikki seems to have found her stride.
I just hope she gets a singles win soon.
I mean, actually, you're right. They could just call it the Crossroads.
Yeah, because
cross
in their name.
Just call it the normal spelling of roads. Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Next was Shinsuke Nakamura, accompanied by his mouthpiece of Sami Zayn, defending the Intercontinental Championship against The Miz. Thoughts?
I love Sami in this role.
I like Sami in this role, especially when they think, nah, it's not working, cut his mic off.
Yeah. It's like, this is what Leo Rush's character should have been. It's like Leo Rush...
It's what Leo Rush's character would have been had he kept his mouth shut outside of the ring.
Yeah. But yeah, he can't be as obnoxious as Sami Zayn can be.
Sami Zayn's got that natural thing of winding everybody in the locker room up. So you just know that the annoyance that everyone sees showing in the ring is genuine.
Yeah. But no, in terms of the ring work that was being done in the match, it was actually all right. Both trying to get in like good submission, like Shinsuke Nakamura getting in a couple of good submission holds in there as well over Miz was good. And the tension, the close calls, the close call finishes on it as well. Like you thought Miz was gonna be out of it after the after one I think it was a Kinshasa shot, and he's just able to get his shoulder up. Everyone was like popped up for that. But no,
did he get hit in the back of the head or something? It wasn't like a normal Kinshasa. It was like a modified, as they would say in the business, modified Kinshasa. Yeah. So,
and then it would eventually lead to. I knew it was gonna be like Sami Zayn gonna be, causing distraction and Kinshasa to the face, and then boom, done. 1, 2, 3. Although. Was it Sammy trying to sell his injury from getting chokeslammed by the Undertaker the night, the SmackDown prior and whatnot? Need to get a better brace, man, because that thing was just about to fall off of your neck that night.
He was basically holding it on, wasn't he?
Yeah. So.
But incidentally, again, going back to that SmackDown, that was I quite enjoyed that interaction with Taker actually, because it was just like he's someone you don't expect Taker would interact with, and that was as a result it was really fun. Match was solid. It was good. I like the back and forth between them outside of obviously Sammy doing his thing. Miz sort of just seeing what some of the things that Shinsuke was doing and sort of just going, okay, okay, I'll try and do something about that then, and getting. He got the crowd behind him. It was solid for Miz. He didn't look bad in defeat in any way, shape or form. And Shinsuke looked good by defeating Miz.
Yeah.
The next title, Becky Lynch defending the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks.
This went for 20 minutes, and it felt it.
I like the fact that they have gone so far to echo Sasha versus Charlotte that they even went so far as to go through the crowd and do the submission through the fucking barrier, like Charlotte did into fucking Sasha, and Sasha to Charlotte all the way back when on an episode of Raw.
But remember, you're not supposed to remember.
Yeah, I know.
Unless they specifically shout it at you like they did with the boom drop spot for Kofi and Orton back at the Garden in the thing before.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to remember otherwise. Never happened. I'm gonna say the first 7 minutes of this was bad. It looked very fake.
I'll be honest. I think this match is surely just here to build up into the rematch that is happening at Hell in a Cell, so Becky can drop the title and get drafted to SmackDown.
It's a case of that being the way that they want to do things.
And then they'll position Becky into the position to get in the SmackDown title.
I mean, if she is the current face of the division, she's going to end up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which means that Seth's going to end up on SmackDown.
Yeah, because they don't want to split up.
Because they upset otherwise. Yeah. Likewise, wherever Andrade ends up, and Charlotte's going to end up, and vice versa.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, the how they ended the match was a bit.
I thought the end where Becky hit the ref with a chair.
Well, it was a weak chair shot.
Weak source shot.
I thought that ending was fine. My problem with the ending is that wasn't stated until after they'd gone all the way through the crowd and come back to the ring, and then it was mentioned by the commentators.
Well, and eventually to the live crowd, because eventually someone had to go to the live crowd and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via disqualification, Sasha Banks, but still your Raw champion." Well, not so.
It took them a very long time to get to that, didn't they?
Yeah, it took too long, I think.
Yeah. But they said the first part of that match was really bad. It looked very fake wrestling.
Yeah. And then you had
and just bad in general.
Back and forth between like submissions.
Then it sort of got into it a little bit more, and then it sort of picked up. But the bottom gear was very low. Let's put it that way. So we had that. And Botchamania, yeah. Matthew likes to use like the JFK movie sound clip. It was like, here's the shot back into the left, when that weak source chair shot came in. I literally heard that in my mind in real time. I'm pretty certain as I watched it, I didn't hear any of the commentary. I just heard Kevin Costner's voice as that played out. Whilst the previous match did both competitors a favour in terms of making them look good, this I don't think benefited either lady.
Sadly.
Yeah. Which is
it tried to make Becky Lynch obviously the stronger woman and whatnot, but it just was very lackluster.
Okay, so next though we had the WWE title match. We had reigning defending champion Kofi Kingston versus the man with the laziest vest in wrestling, Randy Orton.
It's not the only thing that's lazy about him.
just swagging with his...
I just want Randy to go away.
What is it with everyone and saying it's like, "Oh, I can't wait for this match because the build up for this is like
because
we've been burned multiple times. Why is it everyone?
Because people like Randy Orton for some bizarre reason. I had an argument not an argument, but a difference of opinion with a friend on Twitter. I was just like, Randy's boring. And no, he's not. Randy's amazing. And I'm like, ugh.
He does 1, 2 kind of like good kind of like moments.
I don't know. He locks in that sleeper hold very well.
I'll stretch it to 3. Okay. 1 being the RKO, 2 being that neck breaker, back breaker combo, which I've always really liked. At least, the 50% of the time where it actually does it snug. As opposed to the other 50% of the time where it looks like an absolute dog's dinner.
Please don't say the hanging DDT.
No, and number 3 is him pressing play on the CD player to play Voices just before he comes out. Voices is literally the best thing about Randy Orton. Nothing else is 100 times better than the RKO. And the RKO's getting sloppier too.
Well, at least the RKO that they showed.
It's only a bloody cutter. I mean, come on.
Well, he was able to cut it. He was able to do it quite quickly, during this.
This match. Is why this is why Orton's not looking good in these matches with Kofi, because there's no way for him to do an RKO out of Trouble in Paradise, because Kofi's facing the wrong way, and the only way time that Orton looks really good nowadays if he's RKOing somebody out of their finishing move or out of midair.
The problem with this match is because Orton's work rate is very slow, and the means of match versus Kofi is very slow, whereas a match with Kofi works when it's very fast paced.
Yes.
Yeah.
The then problem means that the crowd aren't into it because there's not enough action to keep them entertained, because this is the kind of life that we're in recently where you need to keep it snappy, keep it going, to keep everybody invested and keep it high paced and everything else. But because it's just shit, and Kofi suffers for it because he loses steam. Hell, I'm done with Kofi Mania after that match.
Well, at least Kofi was able to say that he's now done with Orton.
Yeah,
which is good. I mean, he's now got Brock, so he can lose to Brock, but it's something a little different.
Again, this just feels like another holding pattern. It really does. Just keep wrestling Orton until then, and then
It's a very weird situation, but anyway, so Kofi wins. Kofi gets Orton goes for the punt, and Kofi gets out of the way, and Randy's like, "How dare you!" and then tries for an RKO, I think, and then Trouble in Paradise. Trouble in Paradise being treated like an RKO, like out of nowhere maneuver, I quite like, because it should be treated like that. But otherwise, Kofi wins. It's pretty definitive.
So I want to get your guys' thought on the next match, because it's Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan in a no disqualification match.
But we have the champion of the crowd there in Roman Reigns. It's fine. It's this. It belongs. It belongs there.
I'll tell
Clash of Champions.
Yeah. Being the only match that wasn't a title match, that's obviously a negative to it. But in hindsight, in terms of a story-built match, where this is Roman Reigns going after Eric Rowan for his evil deeds that he's been doing to him over the weeks and whatnot. It was fine. It was fine.
It was just two large guys slugging it out.
It was a Hoff match. Like two big guys just going at each other and using.
It was effectively Hulk Hogan versus Tugboat.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of ultimate importance, but with the added thing of them booking themselves into a corner, so Rowan has to win. Otherwise, everyone looks stupid. Mm-hmm. Everyone looks stupid. Even Brian, who wasn't even in the match, would end up looking really stupid. So, in terms of a match, Pete, I felt it was kind of cookie cutter, to use an American phrase.
There were some moments where they were exposing the LED board.
LED board's getting a bit overused at the minute.
Yeah, but it's like people have been smacked into it, but they didn't take the rubber off and
no disqualification match. It looked more like it was set up to be a last man standing match with how much out and around they were going. there was a decisive lack of use of weaponry, which is what you come to expect from an ODQ match. Just more the still steps more than anything else. And
well, there was a bit of environmental kind of like usage. Like I know the bell was used at one point.
I always like a good bell shot. If you get it, if they get it just right, so it actually goes bong off the skull. You know.
Well, you can't do that.
I know you can't do it, but you can adjust and do things to make it.
I mean, obviously, the big reason to leave ringside was to set up for the Harper reappearance and getting back involved. And
that was a big surprise.
That was a big surprise.
I'm
Very
glad to
genuine
see
surprise.
Harper back, considering what we've heard about it, heard about him as well.
Yeah.
But it's just that we've gone from Rowan listening to Bray Wyatt to Rowan listening to Harper to Rowan listening to Daniel Bryan to now Rowan working with Harper again and them doing the Bludgeon Brother moves.
Graves called it a bludgeoning as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I seem to recall.
I don't get it. This whole storyline has got a little bit lost in translation. So I hope it has some payoff down the line at Hell in a Cell, but yeah.
We'll see.
And well, that takes us to the main event. Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman.
The Strowman cometh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was what you expect it to be as well, to be honest, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, granted, it's a little bit more active than, you know, Seth versus Brock, obviously, but it was in the same kind of like template of that, where Braun Strowman was going at it to Seth. And, doing shoulder checks to him on the outside, and you know, whacking him
and cracking him, and.
But yeah, I mean, this is Strowman's splash was a beauty to see. Like seeing him go up the ropes, and he wasn't slow going up the ropes. He was slow, making sure he had his balance, sure, but you've just got to make sure you do. But you know, he sold the knee injury well and everything else. I'm just tired of this. Oh, what can I do to keep the big guy down? I know, stomps. You know, we saw we saw Corbin taking multiple stomps. Then we saw Lesnar taking multiple stomps. And
in fairness, Corbin's one was punishment as opposed to anything else.
Yeah, but my point is that if you look at the last big set of pay-per-views,
that's always been the finish.
The finish has been Lesnar with the stomps, multiple stomps, Corbin with the multiple stomps, and now Strowman with the multiple stomps. How do we one up it? Pedigree. Mop and a stomp.
It's called an explanation point.
I mean, the best thing about this was after the match with Bray Wyatt appearing and mandible clawing at the top of the ramp. And I liked it because after the mandible claw, we had the scene where they got into position and Bray was holding Seth like he was done. That was a good thing to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it was like an old school Taker appearance where he's already done them in before he's actually revealed. Because he was Sister Abigail'd him first, didn't he? He was already in the Sister Abigail position, and Seth looked like he was dead then. And it was just like, wait, hurt. I must hurt him some more. Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see when it comes to Hell in a Cell.
So we've kept Braun away from the main title because he doesn't need it, and he's still not in a position I think where he could carry it. To be honest, I worry at them rushing the Fiend. Rushing the Fiend into championship matches, I think he needs a couple more feuds of just rolling through people first.
I don't know. I think sticking him into this feud is going to be good. I just hope that the match is going to be good. That's if we end up, I seriously hope if we end up at Hell in a Cell with the only way to put the Fiend away being multiple stomps again,
Stomp!
Disappointed.
Disappointed.
I did enjoy the subsequent Raw with Seth in the corner, literally absolutely terrified.
He's done that 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. I actually quite dig that. That's a little different because we know that Seth isn't, going back to what was being said earlier when he was a heel. We know that he is not a chicken shit face. Yeah. It's a bit like when we talked about Bray and Xavier and the whole thing about Xavier's terrified. Xavier was terrified of Bray, and it wasn't that he was a coward. No, he was just the guys scared him, and it was something that they kept in continuity. That no, actually, this guy's like I don't want anything to do with this. That Seth is.
I think the biggest thing. I think that the biggest problem they had with Bray Wyatt originally is that it just ended up just being feud after feud, and Bray didn't get any steam. Now, he's gone away. He's come back reinvigorated as the Fiend, and they've done a thing where he took on Balor, destroyed him. Everybody's high on it. People are still enjoying the Firefly Funhouse, although they seem not as well presented as they had done when he first made the reappearance. But they've put him straight into a championship picture, and I wouldn't go amiss at seeing the belt on Bray for a little bit. Because the ability that they could do with the Funhouse and have there has mileage, because I think they could get quite a few decent presentations out of that. Even if he doesn't get it straight away, but I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, and the thing is, they don't need to do a episode of the Funhouse every week or every other week that they seem to be doing at the minute, because those are coming quite rapid again.
They're doing it specifically because it's a top level feud right now with Seth. I just think we need to just get away from Seth being in the title picture for a little bit. It's the main reason. I don't think they're going to give the belt to the Fiend because they're too high on Seth being the head of the company right now. Yeah.
So. I'm predicting. So Brock wins the belt off Kofi. We think that Becky gets moved over to SmackDown, where then Seth moves over to SmackDown, and then we get to have Seth and Brock for the belt for a third time, so he can be the Beast Slayer a third time. Yay!
Yes, but as Kevin mentioned about predictions, as you could tell by that red fucker there having that shiny bit of gold, I am the current reigning undisputed championship. And what this means is that Mr. Kevin and Mr. John are going to go head to head in predictions for Hell in a Cell, and the winner of that will go against me for AEW Full Gear.
Absolutely, but it doesn't matter that you are a one-time NXT/LMKO champion, because I think you'll find I am a three-time Hall of Famer.
Oh, you got that shitty little blind bag from Wish, did you?
Yeah. Plus, hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm also the WWE champion too. There you go. I actually raided Ric Flair's jewelry box before I came out here. Yeah.
I can hear how plastic those are.
Well, they are genuinely metal. They are genuinely metal. It's a bit. Yeah.
We will see what happens, because Hell in a Cell is a little over a week after we are recording this. Marks out of 10, starting with you, Mr. Turbo.
I'm gonna give this one a 6. I think. It's like,
can I just stop you there for a second? What the fuck are you doing, Pete?
I don't know what.
What are you doing? What is this?
I can do it too. I can be wacky.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's not about being wacky. It's about being the championship wiggle. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Kevin, marks out of 10.
What for that? 0. I'm gonna totally agree with Turbo on this and say a 6. Like I said, it's not a pay-per-view that's going to live long in the memory. A lot of the matches were very ordinary. Some of them were a bit shonky in places. Best matches for me was Intercontinental and SmackDown Tag.
So I was going to agree.
Oh, fuck you.
And give it a 6. But we can't have that. So
He's scared of the devil!
Yeah, right. You can't summon the beast? Come on.
6.1. God.
I'm going to give it a 6.01.
Sake. Hang on. I'm hearing the editor say, "What we round it up to one? We'll round it up to 1 or 2 significant figures. Oh, 0 decimal places. Yeah,
0 decimal places. Right.
Okay, round up to 0 decimal places is a 6. So,
so that 6 is all across the board. And as Mr. Kevin said, 666, the number of the beast, which is just in time for Hell in a Cell, and all that creepy imagery. Thank you very much for watching or listening, ladies and gentlemen, on all good podcast catchers or on the Last Minute Kick Out YouTube channel. Mr. John, where can they find you around the internet?
Well, before you kind of keel over and whatnot, I'll try to finish this off quickly. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TurboXLR, as well as on Instagram under the same tagline, as well as on the Twitch machine, twitch.tv/TurboDrive Live, where I'm streaming every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. UK time.
Mr. Kevin, where can they find you around the internet?
you can find me individually on Twitter at TheKevinEva. You can find a Instagram for me and Last Minute Continue at LastMinContinue, which is also the Twitter account, obviously, for Last Minute Continue as a whole, the parent brand. You can watch me on twitch.tv on Tuesdays and on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. UK time. That is just twitch.tv/Last Minute Continue, the full thing. And if you wanted, by any chance, going back to Twitter very briefly, to follow the LMKO account for that, you need to follow at Faces In Peril for wonderful news about myself, Mr. John Turbo Finley over here, and also over on the far left of your screen, Disco Inferno, apparently.
You get to see insufferable pictures of me holding high a championship title every now and again.
Yeah,
over on that Twitter.
He tweeted that comment himself, by the way.
Live. You can find me on my personal Twitter, where you can find hijinks and mental musings on at Titans Creed. You can find my personal gaming one, which is literally just the gaming shit and none of the personal stuff, over at Gaming Phoenix. You can find YouTube videos that are done over at youtube.com/Project Phoenix Productions, or you can find me on Twitch 5 to 7 days a week, or twitch.tv/Project Phoenix Productions. Thank you once again to Mr. Kevin.
You're most welcome.
And Mr. Turbo.
Good evening.
And from me as well, we will see you next time in either video or audio form. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening or watching to this episode of Last Minute Kickout. Until the next time, we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody. Free time.